Well, hello everyone. How are we doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I am your host for this broadcast, GT45 Gaming, and welcome. And we got a little bit of a fun race here for you folks out there today. We are with the GTRC, the Gran Turismo Racing Community. It's Saturday. It's midday here in Canada, Western Canada. And what better way to start your afternoon off than a GT3 Championship race? It looks like we're going to have a pretty full grid here today too, ladies and gentlemen. So should be an absolute action-packed day. And as you can see, we're over in Tokyo. So headed over to Japan for this round this weekend. And the drivers are on track. So you can see here that the track is the Tokyo South Loop, and they're going to be running it counterclockwise here today. And it is built within the city limits of Japan here. So as you can see, there's walls on both sides all the way around this racetrack. These drivers are surrounded by walls, and it's a fairly tight track. There are plenty of spots where you can make 2x2 work, but the technical sectors of the racetrack do make it quite difficult to go 2x2, make it stick, and both drivers hold a line and maintain pace. So it's going to be interesting to see how the race starts. To start off with, we have 14 drivers on track, if I'm correct. It's going to be a hairy first lap until everybody kind of sorts themselves out. So we were just riding on board with our current championship leader, who is Doug Burrow, and as you can see here, we're just getting the lobby official here. So we're going to be starting qualifying shortly. So you can see all the drivers are starting to tick in here now. So we're going to get some qualifying underway. So a little bit about the series here today. The drivers are required to use the Racing Medium Compounded Tire, and it's the only tire option available to the drivers in the race today. So the drivers do have to use the Racing Medium Tire. The pit window, no mandatory pit window, so the drivers can stop whenever they choose. They can take as many tires as they want. They can take as much fuel as they want, as long as they're using the Racing Medium Tire. Now, with that being said, if weather starts to factor in and we start to see some rain at some point throughout the race, now I'm not saying that's going to happen, I don't know, it's a complete mystery to myself, the host here, what the weather is going to do in the races. I think that it adds to the excitement as a broadcaster, not knowing what the weather is going to do in the races, and I just like to stay out of the know when it comes to the weather factor in these races. So there is always a potential for weather changing in the races here with the GTRC community. So the drivers are obviously allowed to use the wet tires if that is the case, and but not mandatory that they do use them. Of course, if they want to try and tough it out on the rain slicks, on the racing slicks, then that's obviously up to them. So you can see the drivers are starting to come out for qualifying here. So we're going to jump on with Doug. And it's just the outlap here, so we'll just leave it in this screen like this for now. And then what we'll do is we'll switch the information around once these guys get into the hot laps. And we'll let you guys see everything that's going on in the live timing board as these guys come around to start their official qualifying laps. Now, this isn't an official lap because they're coming out of pit lane to start this lap. So, with that being said, this is a warm-up lap in a sense for them. They get to warm the tires up, they get to build the air pressure up in the tires, and just get their cars ready for the flying laps. Now, I believe it's a 10-minute qualifier. I should know this by now, but I'm always sitting here guessing. And so the drivers should get around here 4 or 5 laps. 4 or 5 laps, depending where they came out on track, depending on their pace. Of course, how many mistakes that they do make during the qualifier. Obviously, qualifying means that the drivers are pushing to the maximum to try and get the absolute fastest time on the racetrack to get the best starting position on the grid. So we're going to see mistakes made. We're going to see drivers absolutely ultimately pushing their limits. And that's just the way it goes with qualifying. Now, keeping in mind, some people do qualify better than others, and some have better race pace than others. So, you know, qualifying, you may see some drivers not qualify as strongly, but you just see amazing race pace out of that driver. Some people just aren't comfortable with pushing the ultimate lap out, perfect lap for a qualifier. Some people just don't do it well. Some people race really well. Some are very good at both. So it always adds to the intrigue of what's going to happen in a race. Just because we see a guy get on pole doesn't mean that that's where he's going to finish in the race. And that's the best thing about racing. Anything can happen. We got Justin Day and Anthony coming in both with the likes. Much love, you guys. How's everybody doing today? Yo, quick hello before I head to bed. Hey, good night, my man. Good night, good night. Appreciate you. Much love, much love. Alright, so we can turn all the information around here now. Alright, so we're just getting around the, we're at about the midpoint of Tokyo South Loop here. We're getting around that little tricky sector that we've seen there, and that is by far the hardest part of the racetrack here today for the drivers to navigate, especially as the tires start to wear down. And the guys are putting the stress on these race cars after a few, 10-minute sessions around the racetrack with these cars. They're definitely going to be showing some wear on the brakes, on the tires, potentially on the cars themselves if they're nipping the walls around the racetrack from time to time as well. So we got Billy coming in with the thumbs up. How you doing, Billy? We appreciate you. Much love, much love. Dennis Miller coming in with the thumbs up as well. Dennis coming in with the share as well. Much love, everybody. How are we all doing? Alright, so Doug coming across right off the bat there with a 156, man. Okay, so not exactly sure what is happening here, but apparently I'm backwards on the racetrack. So we're coming to the start-finish line here now, it looks like. And does Doug improve on that at all? Yes, he does, actually, with a 156.753. So fastest lap on track currently is Doug. So provisional pole is Doug. And he was sitting there crying in the driver's chat about how his car's so slow. And here he is sitting in provisional pole. You're great. Oh, it's great. Awesome. Love to hear it, Dennis. So we got Keytop sitting in P2 here currently. Provisionally, of course. We got Ibra, who we always joke is commentator's favorite, in P3. We got Airraiser in P4. We got Tron Kobe here in P5. We got Boo in P6. We've got Bar27 in P7. We've got SpongeBob in P8. We've got Monkey Mafia in P9. Type R in P10. Unseen Throne in P11. New driver here today. We got Anto in P12. We got Lone Ghost in P13. Also his first run at the GT3s this season. And Magic Man 5500. No, not the same Magic Man that you guys are used to seeing here on GT45 Gaming. This is a different Magic Man, but also new to the series here today, so we love to see that. Catch you all soon. We love you, Anthony, man. Have yourself a good night, my dude. Yeah, not bad. Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good, Billy, for sure. We're always better when we're broadcasting a race, so we absolutely love broadcasting these races. They're always a lot of fun, so I really do hope everybody enjoys the show here today. So this will be a 1-hour endurance race once qualifiers finish, and I'm just checking all the stream pages here. I'm streaming to 3 different pages here currently. So we are live on the GT45 Gaming Facebook and YouTube channels. For those of you, of course, that follow GT45 Gaming pages, and for those of you that are viewing in through the GTRC YouTube channel, welcome as well. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are also live on the GTRC's YouTube channel as well. So wherever you fancy to watch your races from, please feel free. Drop us a comment. Let us know who your favorite driver is. We'll go through the list one more time for everybody. So we got Doug, who is our current championship leader coming into round 5. We've got Boo, who is a very quick driver. We've got Keytops here, also very quick in his own right. We got Tron Kobe. We've got Hairraiser, another quick driver. We've got Ibra. We've got Bar27, who we do know is from the DMJ series as well. He's representing the GTRC community in the DMJ series at GT45 Gaming as well. We've got SpongeBob. So only made a couple of races this season. Monkey Mafia now. I love seeing Monkey Mafia here. He's been working hard this season, so we absolutely love seeing Monkey Mafia on track. We've got Unseen Throne. Again, new driver today, so unknown. We don't know what to expect from Unseen Throne. We got Type R. We got Anto. We all know Anto. We've been seeing a lot of Anto a lot lately. We've got Lone Ghost. Opting to go to BMW here. And Magic Man 5500. Ooh. not currently on the racetrack. Okay, so 14 drivers, full grid today. We love to see the full grids. That's what it's all about. Full grids means growth, means adaptations. Just, that's what we love to see. I had the most epic thing happen on stream last night. Not sure if you saw my post. Good night, mate. Have a good stream. And as always, rock on the comms. Hey, appreciate you, Anthony. No, I didn't see the post yet, Dennis. I haven't had a chance to get on my Facebook socials yet today. So we do have Doug, and he's holding a really slim margin here in qualifying. He's only got 5/100ths of a second over Boo Fu Shadara. Now, Boo Fu Shadara is last season's defending champion as well when it came to the GT4 series. So it is GT3 season this season, and of course next season we'll be back into the GT4 series again. But yeah, that's usually how it works. They could change it up, but that's just a prediction on what I've seen from these guys. So Boo Fu Shadara, a very quick driver. Key tops here. He's been rolling quick, and you can see all the drivers are starting to come around here. They're parking the cars at the end of the straight here now, and that's to keep off the racetrack for drivers that are on a flying lap. So settling in at the end of qualifying, and it's looking like Doug in provisional first. We've got Boo in P2, but he's still flying, so let's stick with Boo here. As again, he is on a flyer still, so he could absolutely take Doug here on pole for the very last time around. Hairraiser doesn't look like. Oh, Hairraiser jumps up into P4 there, so great job by Hairraiser. And Boo doesn't grab pole, but he does gain a couple hundredths on Doug, so very close. So it's going to be Doug in P1, Boo in P2, Keytops in third, Hairraiser in fourth, Bart in fifth, Tron in sixth. We got SpongeBob who's flying, so let's stick with SpongeBob. He's just coming into the final sectors here, and I believe that's Ibra just up ahead of him as well. No, Ibra's parked already. Oh, no way. Free. That is pretty awesome, dude. Stone Mountain himself rated my stream last night. Oh, that's legit, dude. Awesome, Dennis. That is fantastic, my man. You know, Stone really is Stone Mountain really is a fantastic creator, and you know, Stone Mountain really does work hard on helping other creators grow. You know, he's got a lot going on with everything that he does over there, and it's nice to see that he's still out there helping out the smaller guys. So we love to see that, man. Huge shout out to Stone Mountain for that. That is awesome, Dennis, man. That is so freaking awesome. Wow. On the radar, my man. On the radar. GG's. You got me all smiling about that, dude. That is so awesome, man. I was literally shaking and nearly brought me into tears. For real, man. That's like an all-star of creators for Facebook guys, man. That's so cool, dude. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, but back to business here. It's race time, so I do apologize not to cut that awesome news off. We'll get back to that in a few minutes here, but we do have a race start coming. So we do have grid start with false start check here, so the drivers have to make sure that they got them foots on them brakes. We got 2 reds, 3, 4, 5. Wait for the green. You can see the drivers revving here. And we're off. Oh, and we got all our camera angles right off the bat. Oh, juicy. Race start from behind our leader, Doug Burrow. There is, he gets a push by SpongeBob right off the bat. Now, the question is everybody going to survive this here? So we are on our current race leader here, and SpongeBob does get ahead of Boo Fu Shadara there. So Boo dropping down into P3 right off the race start there. But again, that Corvette has really good launch. So not surprised to see, and this Corvette should have no problem taking Doug here on the straight either. So let's see what happens here as we come into this corner. It's a hard braking zone here. This is a very technical sector too, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see. Ooh, Boo coming inside of that Corvette there. And Boo's going to grab P2 from SpongeBob. So great job, Boo Fu Shadara there. Let's get back to our TV crew here and let them do their job for a minute. Oh, we don't get TV crew cameras, so we're stuck on boards for now. Alright, so with Boo Fu Shadara. Again, this is what's looking like behind SpongeBob. So let's get on board with SpongeBob here, our P3 driver. Now we have Hairraiser all up in his business there. You see him actually give him a little bit of a push there. He wasn't trying to get by him there. He's giving him a little bit of push, and that's just to try and help him and the group behind him close back up to Boo Fu Shadara and Doug, who aren't very far ahead. As you can see, only 0.3 of a second ahead of SpongeBob here and closing quickly. So, but we do see Hair. Oop, gonna make an attempted move coming into the inside of this hairpin here. This is coming near to the end of our... Ooh, Boo Fu Shadara getting a little bit loose there. And SpongeBob having to back off quite significantly there. So, let's draw an onboard here with our driver and give you guys a real look at what these guys are really looking at here when they're looking in their mirror. This is kind of what they're seeing behind them. So we've got Hairraiser attempting to make the move here. If we look to the right, can't quite see him yet, so he's not far enough on the inside to get the job done. You can see he's back in behind. A little bit of contact with the wall there potentially, but not too harm. You got Keytops just in behind Hairraiser here, so let's jump on board with Keytops as he's trying to get past Hairraiser here as well. And a little bit of a gap there, but you see Bar 27 trying to make the move on Trone Kobe there, and bobbing weaving back and forth here. Not sure which side he wants to take. Trone covers him off actually really well there. Bar has to back out of that, so Trone Kobe does stay ahead of Bar 27 there for P6, P7 battle, but Key all over the back of Razor here, and it doesn't really look like these guys are battling too much right at the moment. I just kind of think these guys are chilling. They know that it's early enough in the race yet. They don't need to be battling hard and wrecking each other's race cars. You can see Hairraiser's race car quite... Ooh, a little bit of contact there from the driver in front. Great job by Key. Ooh, and Boo wipes out. Oh my goodness, here we go. It's all kicking off, ladies and gentlemen. So, I guess we'll get into chase cam here for a minute. Not my favorite camera view, but it does allow me to rotate the camera at free will. So, we're going to play with it here a little bit. You can see there's a bit of a space now between 6th and 7th place. An unforeseen Throne now moving up into P7. So, he's looking good. And Bar got a really good run there. As you can see, he's right up on the back of Keytops here in that FedEx Skyline today. And, of course, those drivers trying to chase down Trone Kobe. Now, I understand that you guys are seeing a little bit of, and hearing a little bit of rubber banding. It's not actually on the lobby's fault here. It's actually my connection today. So, I do apologize to everybody. The rubber banding is on my connection. I tested my internet right before the broadcast. It's just not quite 100% here today. So, we didn't have time to make the adjustment before we went live, so I do apologize about the rubber banding, but it's actually not the server because none of the drivers are actually complaining about rubber banding on their end. So after doing a little internet speed test, it's definitely on my end today. So, but nonetheless, once we get full camera angles here, we can get back to the TV crews and let them do their job. The production truck, not happy with our TV crews at the moment here, but they'll get these guys online as soon as they're in place and ready to go. So let's get through our field here. We got to get into a view where you guys can at least see the cars. Give you a little look at deliveries here for now. So let's get back up to the lead and see what's going on up front here. We got Doug in P1. I'm on a 30-day Facebook restriction, so my posts are being put much lower in the feed, so I don't know how it even got on his radar. Well, you know, Stone Mountain's been getting into F1 a lot lately. Him and Fuglet, one of his buddies that he plays Call of Duty with, another Facebook streamer, they play F1 2021 together as well, and I think they've even entered an F1 league together. So Stone Mountain's kind of starting to slowly move into the sim racing world, I guess, in a sense. But on the F1 side of things, he's been really engaging in the F1 part of the community on his side of things. I follow Stone Mountain myself, right? I'm sure many of us do, but so he is, you know, kind of progressing into the sim racing world. So we may start seeing more of him. It's hard to say, Dennis, you know, but you know, at the end of the day, Stone still strongly believes in what the Facebook platform does and what the creators are doing on the Facebook platform, and he's always willing to help, and that's the great thing about Stone Mountain, right? And you know, that's huge. I'm happy for you, man. That's absolutely huge, dude. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So Doug here in P1, and Dennis Miller, also Facebook streamer, ladies and gentlemen. If you wonder what we're talking about here, he's a follower of GT45 Gaming in reverse and vice versa. And he's a sim racer as well. Great dude. Go check him out sometime as well. But he's always popping in the stream and showing some love. So you guys make sure to go over there and show him some love back as well too, please. We do appreciate it here. We support all our community members of GT45 Gaming, non and real content creators of all people of all kinds. It doesn't matter who you are. So we do appreciate all the support, and if we can find a way to show you the love, we're absolutely going to do so. So Hairraiser here in P2. I'm a little annoyed I don't have camera angles right now, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little annoyed. I can't ever win with GT7 right now on the spectator side of things, but Hairraiser's a P2, so Hairraiser's done a good job at making up some time here. Now, not sure if there was an incident between some of these drivers, or you can see some smoke coming from SpongeBob's car there as he made a little bit of contact with the wall, so he might have had a rear tire rubbing a little bit there potentially on the fender. Seems to have sorted itself out, but now we've got the move being made here by Trone Kobe. And is it going to make it stick though coming into the hairpin? Because he's got Keytops looking too here, so he's really got to work on not leaving too much Oh, he was a little bit wide there, just having a hard time holding there. Trone gave him plenty of room, so Trone is going to make the position on P4 on SpongeBob. SpongeBob managing to keep Keytops in behind, so Keytops is just playing pretty slow and steady pace here right now. He's a smart race car driver, Keytops. We've seen it week in and week out with this particular racer, and he never really seems to panic. And he's got a plan, he's got a strategy in his mind, and we're going to see how that's going to work out for him here today. Bar 27 just in behind, he's pretty quick too. I'm not sure if he's on wheel or pad here today, but if I had to guess, it looks like pad, just based off his movement. Also a quick driver though. And he's going to try and make a move on Key here, so... Ooh, Key getting loose! That was very close to having an incident there between him and Bar 27, just because he got a little bit loose on exit there. But great job by Bar not to make contact, and great job by Key to get the back end underneath him and just keep on going there as well. So great job by both those drivers in P5 and P6 here to navigate. This is a difficult racetrack when you're actually racing on it, especially when you factor in tire wear, fuel consumption. You can see lots of drivers struggling here. You can see lots of wall contact being made. You see smoke coming from the cars, tires rubbing. This is very, you can see that Mercedes getting a little bit familiar with the barrier there, as well as you can hear a car coming up, I believe, on Ibra now. Yeah, Ibra is right in behind here. Ibra not really trying to force an issue here. Oh, a little bit of contact is unseen thrown, getting a little defensive there for no reason, I feel. I don't think that Ibra's really trying to make the move on unseen at the moment here. I think Ibra's just playing his strategy. He's just he's got something going on. He knows what he wants to do here, and I think he's pretty content with just sticking in behind this Mercedes and letting this Mercedes help pull that BRZ along the racetrack, essentially. And, oh, really wide there by Unseen. I should be able to allow Ibra, but ooh, a little bit of contact there. Unseen having a little bit of a struggle through that sector there, but Ibra just showing his patience, not really panicking. But now he's got a battle here as Astro's coming in, P10 here. Another Corvette driver, ladies and gentlemen. So he does get that move done, and Ibra's patience bit him a little bit there, gave up position. Type R is now just coming up behind Ibra here as well. He's in that Toyota FT1, so interesting choice there. We don't see many drivers opt to take this car, but Type R making it look good. Monkey Mafia as well. He's in the Porsche 911 RSR. Wrong button. My bad, Joe. My bad. We got Anto here. Let's get back to Monkey real quick. Take a look at his livery here. And he's always got basically a different livery every race, it seems like. Anto's on a bit of a different style livery here as well, too. Big Canada flag on the back window there. And Lone Ghost here rounding out our field today in that BMW. Lone Ghost, I think first GT3 this season here, but he is, of course, in and out with the GTRC guys from time to time. So we're familiar with Ghost. He's also spent some time in the broadcasting booth with us here as well. So nice to see him on track today. Alright, so unfortunately we still don't have all our camera angles, and I suspect we're not going to get them until probably driver pits. Once the driver makes a full pit stop, then we'll get all our camera angles. I'm not sure why it is the way it is like that right now in GT7, but it is, so we just make do with what we got. But Hairraiser now in the lead, so Hairraiser has found his way around Dugborough for first place. So Dugborough currently chasing here for P1, and now he's also got a little bit, keep hitting the wrong button to worry about here in Tyrone Colby using that Supra behind. Now the Supra has the straight line speed to catch that BRZ, but clearly Tyrone Colby's a little more worried about conserving fuel and tires right now at the moment. He's got the leaders in his sights, so I mean he's in a good position here. He doesn't need to make that move. Ooh, Hairraiser made a mistake there, a little bit of contact. Good job by Tyrone though, minimal contact. Ooh, Doug getting a little bit wide there, forcing Tyrone to have to take a really wide entry into that corner. And then contact there on the side by SpongeBob as well. So, as we suspected today, that Tokyo was going to make for some Rubbins racing, and that's exactly what's happening here. It's a tight racetrack. It's hard to navigate this racetrack, and getting a move done on this racetrack proves to be difficult. And you can see that the drivers are having to literally use every little bit of racetrack they can, and a little bit of help maybe potentially from the guy they're passing here too. Today, Hair Raiser now is going to come around. He gets squeezed out a little bit there, so oh, he got stuck on that wall. So unfortunate for Hair Raiser and all these cars. Oh, the bodyworks. The bodywork is going to be need to be done on these poor race cars after this race. I hope that their mechanics are paid very, very well at the shop, because the paint booth boys are going to be busy before next week's race. So Boo Fu Shadara currently sitting in P5 now. A little bit surprised to see Boo back at P5, but we did see Boo have an incident as well early in the race. Now, again, Boo is the defending champion from last season's main series, which was the GT4 Championship last season. And when he is on track here in the GT3 series, he's always a competitor to watch out for. So we see, I'm not sure who that was making a mistake up ahead there. It must have been a back marker. I think that might have maybe been Lone Ghost potentially making a mistake there. I'm not 100% sure, but car getting a little bit deep in the corner there and having to use the extra runoff to not cause an incident with the lap traffic coming up, or lead traffic coming up. So R27 and P7, and you can see he's got a little bit of a gap between him and Key currently. Key is just up there in the distance, you know, a few pixels up there when he gets on those straightaways still, so Key's not out of the picture yet, but that pack is definitely starting to open up from 1 to 6, from 7 through 14 here currently. We have Astro here, and he's up in P8, so you can see how much commitment this racetrack really does require too while we're on board with these drivers. I mean, you have to get very comfortable with the walls here at Tokyo in order to really maximize the track to get maximum speed around it. And you can see him there. He didn't want to. He was hesitant to get on the throttle there. He definitely had. He got on the throttle earlier there, but that Corvette's spicy, especially when you start factoring the tire wear and the rear tires on this C7 Corvette. It definitely a spicy car when the tires start to wear down. It's one of the cars I opt to run quite often myself when I do race in GT7, and it's a spicy car. It's a spicy car. We got Caves Kim coming in with the like. How are you? Welcome everybody. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. We're seeing lots of new faces in the stream today, so we'd love to see that. Welcome everyone. Hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend, whether it be day, night, or afternoon for everybody, and I hope the weather is treating you all right, enjoying some sun, and have a smile on your face, because that's what it's all about, folks. So, unfortunately, no TV cameras still. It's unfortunate. Our production crew's working on it, and we can see some damage on the spoiler of this AMG, so you can see that all the drivers here are really having a hard time with this racetrack today. And you can see he's getting really deep there. He just manages to keep it out of the wall. So great job there by Unseen to keep that car out of the wall there now. The pit stops are going to be interesting here for these drivers. All these cars have various forms of damage and issues and little nicks and bumps and dents. And the tires are going to be in various shapes. They're going to be on different fuel strategies. Ooh, a little bit of contact again there from that AMG. So we see Monkey Mafia is doing a great job here in this Porsche. Now he's going to try and find his way around Unseen Throne here. So we'll see if these two can make this work here. A little bit more contact from that AMG. You see Monkey Mafia giving him absolutely as much time, room and space as he can. Ooh, a little bit of contact into the wall there from Monkey, yes. So potentially a little bit of help. So we got Ibra jumping up ahead of Monkey Mafia here now, and now he's chasing down the 9th place driver Unseen Throne. So Monkey Mafia is like, no, I've had quite enough of this. So tried to make the move there. Ibra cut the move off, and a little bit of contact from the wall. So you can see the drivers are feeling spicy today. These are some spicy racers today. They are not giving an inch on this racetrack. So it's a tough being, especially when you got pace and you're trying to catch up to the guys out in front. You get stuck behind a driver that you can't find your way around. It does get frustrating, but the drivers got to keep their heads upon themselves here and still make good decisions. So Lone Ghost here, you can see he's getting the blue flag on him right now as he's got Tron and Boo Fu Shadara coming up. But Lone Ghost doing a great job giving the space to these guys. You can see him just letting these guys go, making sure he's leaving lots of room for the drivers. Great job there by Lone Ghost to allow the lead lap traffic to get through. Nice and safe. He's not hurting anybody there. He's out of the way of the main line. Great job there. Great job by Ghost there. You've seen Bar 27 just getting around there as well. So yeah, our 7th place driver Bar, he's starting to gain a little bit. He's picked up about a 1.5 seconds on that pack up in front of him, so he's picked the pace back up a little bit. He's trying to close these guys back in. He's also on a purple lap currently here, which is currently owned by Boo Fu Shadara, who has a 156.397, so a nice quick lap there by Boo in that 911 RSR Porsche that he's driving here today. But Bar currently on that purple sector, so we'll stick with Bar here for a minute and see if he can maintain that around the racetrack here. You see him get a little bit out of shape there under braking. And these poor race cars, the paint jobs have definitely seen better days. You can see the tire wear is definitely starting to kick in already on a lot of these race cars. The track, it's not super sunny here. As you can see, it's starting to get dark in Tokyo, so the streets are cooling down. And, you know, that should allow for a little bit more grip in a sense, but when they get to a certain temperature, then the roads just become slippery, and those tires really have a hard time to start finding the optimum amount of grip around the racetrack. And of course, the tires are starting to wear down after 18 minutes of racing here, and some of these drivers have been racing pretty hard around the racetrack, so it's hard to say what the strategies are moving forward here. You know, some guys might opt to make a 2-stop strategy here just to stay on fresher tires. We don't know. Monkey Mafia is still up in P10 here. He's back on the back end of Unseen Throne here. We got Ibra has fallen back in behind Monkey Mafia here, so you can see the drivers are swapping positions quite a bit here as well, as drivers are making mistakes and other drivers aren't. They're getting the run, and ultimately I think that's what you gotta approach Tokyo as here when you're running around Tokyo. I think you just got to be patient behind the guy you're putting pressure on and just keep applying the pressure and hope that they make that mistake that allows you to get through. And oh, that's really unfortunate there for Lone Ghost, as the Mercedes driver there just not being patient, whereas we're just talking about patience there and not allowing Lone Ghost to get a proper spot to get out of the way. Now, the deal with the blue flags, ladies and gentlemen, is like most leagues and most series and events that we broadcast for and run in, the driver it is the blue flags driver's responsibility to not interfere with lead lap traffic. But with that being said, they do have the right to the racing line through a technical sector if that's where lead lap traffic catches them. Now, ultimately, most of the time you have about 3 corners before they want you to get out of the way of the lead lap traffic. But in a situation where you have maybe a 3 or 4 corner sector, typically you'll allow the blue flag traffic to hold the racing line through that sector. And as the faster driver, you got 2 decisions to make at that point. You either make the hard pass on the outside and just get the job done there, or sit back, lose a 1/2 tenth in that lap, wait for the straight line run, and just take them there. Sometimes you don't see lead lap traffic make the right decision there. Sometimes you see them get a little aggressive for no reason, and unfortunately that's what we saw there between the Mercedes and Lone Ghost. There was the lead lap traffic driver just not being quite patient enough, or just missing his braking point slightly and causing contact there. So nothing done wrong there by Lone Ghost. A little bit of a mistake made by the Mercedes there. No harm, no foul, ladies and gentlemen, but just an explanation on what blue flag means and what's expected typically from a blue flag situation. Now, also as the drivers that are on the lead lap traffic, again, it is also, like I said, it is up to him to make the smart racing decisions as well. So it does come down to both drivers at the end of the day still. And we always see a good job here at the GTRC with that. So just as we see situations, we like to explain to the viewers what that means. You guys might be sitting there going, well, I don't understand what you're talking about. And so we try to do our best to educate as much as we can as we're broadcasting as well. So let's just jump on board with Doug here, as he's our current race leader. Him and Hair Razor have been swapping back and forth to lead here over the last 4 or 5 laps here now, and it seems like it's coming down to the most consistent driver is going to win here today. Whichever one gets around the track the safest is probably going to win this race here today, is what it's kind of starting to look like. You see Doug's opting to come into pit lane here right now, and there's no cheating in GT7 when it comes to pit lanes here, because we do have the pit line penalties on. If you don't stay within those yellow lines in this situation here at Tokyo, on entry and exit, you will receive a 3-second penalty per infraction. So that can very, very quickly add up. And you can see the top 5 drivers all opting to pit here. So we did see Trone stay out. We've seen Keytop stay out. jump on board with a couple of our other drivers. We got Hair Razor here. He's coming out of pit lane, so interesting there. That was a pretty short stop for Hair Razor there. As you see, Doug on a much longer stop. Astro in the Corvette here. We've got Barr. He's out now as well. Astro still in. Unseen still in here as well in that Mercedes. And doing a good job here for his first race too, ladies and gentlemen. So fantastic job here by all our drivers today that are new on track. And Lone Ghost is out. He's just having a good time here. He's running his race. He's doing his best not to interfere with anybody, and he's doing great. Love to see him out there still, continuing on here. So, I mean, we have a little more than 37 minutes remaining in this race. So we're about 23 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen. And so far it's been interesting. It's definitely been an intriguing race. As we have Tron Kobe. Hey, we got cameras. Look at that. We got our TV cameras. I told you. As soon as somebody makes a pit stop, we'll have our TV cameras back. So the production crew's got the TV cameras online. So here we go. Tron Kobe in P1 currently. We got Keytops in P2. And Keytops' car is looking a little rough there on the rear end as well. And I'll be shocked if there is one car on this racetrack today that doesn't have some form of damage on it. Doug coming out after his pit stop, still up into P4 here, so coming out still in the lead once that the three drivers ahead pit, as we see Tron now actually coming into pit lane here. You can see a little bit of a different style of pit lane here in Tokyo as well. You're kind of like in an underground parking garage in a sense. It's really cool. We'll stick with Tron here as he comes out of pit lane as well. You see Keytops opting to stay out again, so doing a really good job at conserving fuel in that GTR. And as we all know, anybody who does play the game, the GTR is not exactly one of the best cars on fuel. So you can see it's a really short pit lane essentially here at Tokyo as well. It goes into the parking garage, you hit your pit line, you hit your box, and then bam, you're out. And you come out right out at the other end of that hairpin. So pit entry is while you're going entry into the hairpin, and then at pit exit is right at the other end of the hairpin. So quite a short pit lane at Tokyo here. So Tron actually coming back out ahead of Doug. So Tron Kobe may hold the race lead here once these two drivers up ahead stop. It'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. Great overcut there by Tron on Doug Burrow. That was a fantastic job done there. So strategy's coming in. We see Type R now in pit lane in that FT1, Toyota FT1 here. So and Anto opting in that BMW Z4. So Keytop's currently with the race lead. But still owes a pit stop yet. There's no, I doubt that he can do the race on a no stop, but I guess you never know. I could totally be wrong. We thought that in the last GT3 race that we saw, where we had a reserve driver come in and no stop the race, so it's entirely possible. I believe that was yeah, I believe that was last week's 2 weeks ago in round 4. Doc, sorry, I had to put up a post. Hey, you're good, my dude. You're good. You're good, man. Never need to apologize. Nolander coming in with the big thumbs up. How you doing, my dude? How is Nolander today? Alright, so Keytops in my car, the GTR. It is one of my favorite cars in the game. It has been for many a Gran Turismo versions. The GTR is a personal favorite of GT45 Gaming. He's a pretty big fan of the car, so a little disappointed. I feel like it's a little underpowered here in the new platform, but they are still messing around with the BOP settings and still fine-tuning everything, so we'll see what they end up with once they got it all sorted out. But Keytop's looking like he's got a pretty sizable lead. He's got 25 seconds on Tron. So Ibra stopped and made his pit, and he's actually come out ahead of Doug as well in the other BRZ, but Doug's right there. So overcut, good job by Ibra as well on the overcut, but Tron is managing to stay out ahead of Ibra. So far Tron has had the best strategy as far as when to pit here in the race, but we've seen the drivers pick quite early, so this might be a two-stop strategy from a lot of these drivers here today. And right now it looks like Keytops is the only driver on the one-stop strategy. I'm good. How's it going? Hey, we're doing good, Noli. We're doing good, my guy. So, GTR leading the race here right now, 25 seconds, but again, he is at some point going to have to stop here in the race. We got Trone in P2. He's made a stop here. He's overcut a few drivers for position. I think he's grabbed 2 or 3 positions on his overcut attempt. Ibra grabbing a couple as well, so Ibra was actually quite far back in the pack. He was sitting 7th, 8th, or 9th or something like that. Now sitting up into P. Well, you see Doug just getting past him there. So Doug making the move, getting back up into P3 on Ibra there. So great job by Doug. So Ibra moving from like P9 to P4 here just as we're speaking now. So really good pit strategy so far by Ibra. Boo's still in P5 and he's got SpongeBob all over him. You see SpongeBob's going to try and get the job done coming inside here. A little bit of contact between the two drivers under braking there. And, oh, Boo looking for the overcut, but he couldn't get the power down. So he just tucked back in behind there. You see him get a little bit out of sorts. So great job by Boo to keep control of that portion. You can see SpongeBob's going to also get Ibra as well. So SpongeBob making a move happen here, grabbing 2 positions up into P4. And we got Boo Fu Shadara getting around Ibra as well. So Boo grabbing a position here as well, moving up into P5. So Ibra is losing a couple spots there, but is right on the tail end of those 2 drivers. Bar 27 coming into the picture here now in P7. So boy, oh boy, we got a battle here from 3 to 7 right now currently, as we see Bar going inside. Ibra making slight mistake. Bar going to get the position. So Ibra dropping back to P7. Bar now moving up into P6. So we have a great mid-pack battle going on there. We got Hair Razor just behind these guys in P8. Uncharacteristic of Hair. Maybe he's on a one-stop strategy as well. He's not. We've seen him in the pit lane earlier. Monkey Mafia up into P9. We've got Astro in P10. We've got Unseen Throne in P11. We've got Type R in 12. We've got Anto in 13. And Lone Ghost in 14. So back to our leader, Keytops. When will Key pit? I assume that he's pushing for a one-stop race, so we will see him pit not this time around, but probably next time around, as long as he's got the fuel to get around. Yeah, you betcha. I'll check it out after the broadcast, Dennis, my guy. Oh, I bet. Adrenaline running, all of my thoughts going through your head. Oh, man, that would have been exciting. That would have been exciting. So, Tron in second place, and he's starting to grab time. Now, he does come in, so I suspected he was going to go one more time around, but I guess he's opting that he's losing time to Tron Kobe, and now's the time to come in before he loses any more time. The question is, does he have it in him to stay ahead? No, but he's on a different strategy here. So, we see Keytops on a one-stop strategy, and the whole rest of the field's on a two-stop strategy. So, is Key, the way it's been looking so far, if that is the case and the rest of the field's on the two-stop strategy, then we will see, and we just see an Ibra coming into pit lane there as well. I think we'll see Key on top at the end of the race, but it has to maintain his pace that he's been maintaining so far in this race, if not quicker, and he can't have any major vital mistakes, I think, in order to get back into P1 here. But we'll see what happens. So let's get back through our field, as Trone Kobe now is our race leader. So Trone overcutting all the other drivers up ahead of him here after his pit stop and sitting in P1. So potentially 2 drivers on a one-stop strategy, one for sure, and the rest are on a two-stop strategy here today. So SpongeBob now moves up into P2. As you've seen, he's gotten around Doug, but Doug's going to try to get the job done inside here. And flash the lights there a little bit. Controller driver, just could be the fact that he's controller driver, or he just maybe felt like that he cut his entry into the corner off there maybe, but who knows. Boo right tight behind him there in P4 as well, and then Bar in P5. So Hairrazor's now moved up into P6. So Hairrazor's starting to pick away at the field here. Key came out in P7. Just behind Monkey Mafia, it looked like, and he just made the move on Monkey Mafia there going into that sector. So Monkey Mafia is just coming through right now with Astro right behind. Unseen Throttle here in the Mercedes, not too far behind him. Ibra came out in P11 here. Type R in P12. We got Anto in P13 and Lone Ghost in P14. So interesting strategies we're seeing here from all the drivers today. So let's jump on board with Tron. Let's do a little onboard love of Tron here. I'm gonna re-moisten my palette and leave you guys with the sights and the sounds of Gran Turismo on Tokyo South counterclockwise loop. Alright folks, so there we go. On board with the race leaders. He's coming around the final few corners here right now. He's coming through this little S sector. It's going to be a sweeper to the left here, and then the start finish line. So there he is, the start finish line right there. Alright, so Throwing Colby looking pretty good in the lead here very early on. Midway through the race. And we got SpongeBob in second place. So you can see just in the background there, SpongeBob is lurking 1.2 seconds behind. Just a couple seconds behind him is Boo Fu Shadara. And then just behind Boo Fu Shadara is Doug. So Boo has gotten around Doug for P3. So Doug dropping down to P4 there. He's about a second behind Boo. And then about 6 seconds behind them is Bar 27. So Bar 27 maybe making a little bit of a mistake there. He's lost a little bit of time on that pack. We'll have to see how he does there. Hairraiser is starting to pick up on Bar though, so it could be good and bad for Bar. Either he has a buddy to work with to catch up to the guys in front, or he has a competitor that he needs to battle for position. What is this event? I nearly missed. This is the GTRC GT3 Championship Series. Key tops in P7 here in the GTR. Un momento, as we have a brain malfunction. Just got to reprogram it here to start working again. Your key tops in 7th, Monkey Mafia in 8th. We have Astro in 9th. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes it just you lose that train of thought you're on. Unseen Throne in P10. We have Ibra in P11. Type R in P12. We got Anto in P13. And Longo's just having a little bit of an issue there. Looking like he just got it sorted out though. Keeping the BMW out of trouble for the most part. And down the road, P14. So, Throne Kobe looking real strong here so far. But the big question mark is going to be two drivers in particular, Keytops and Ibra, who are both, I believe, running one-stop strategies compared to the rest of the field who are running two-stop strategies here today. So we did say it earlier in the broadcast, you know, I feel like some of the drivers are going to opt for the two-stop strategy just to have better rubber underneath their tire. They could push a little bit harder. But the one-stop strategy might take the win here. So we'll have to see how that plays out. We'll be seeing the two-stop drivers probably making a secondary stop within the next 2 to 3 laps. If that is the case, we'll definitely see about half a dozen guys come in here soon. So once we see that, then we'll have to see where Tron Colby comes out as compared to Keytops, who's on a one-stop strategy here. And then we'll have to see how Keytops handles the fresher tires coming up behind him as well. So Boo Fu Shadara in P3. Boo, always a quick driver. He's always seems to be fighting for a podium position when he's on the racetrack. And very often do you see him have a real bad day. And currently sitting in P3. Doug just chasing behind. Now Doug is our current championships leader. And actually, when we talk about that, let's bring those standings up, folks. So here you go. Coming in, we're just going to shut the race car sounds off for a second. But there we go. So coming into today's race, this is the current standing. So after 4 rounds here in the GT3 series, we have Doug sitting in P1 with 62 points. We have Keytops chasing there with 52 points. So 10 points separates our leader and second place driver. And then from there, it's third place Razor with 45, who's tied with Bar 27 for 45. So tied goes between Razor and Bar for 3. So P5 is Boo with 39 points. Tron at 34, tied with Canvas as well, who's not on track today. So we got a very tight point series here in the mid-pack, especially. You can see we have Monkey Mafia sitting with 33, who is on track today, so should leapfrog Canvas for sure. We got Ibra also in the race today, sitting with 26 points. We got Posh Connor, who's not in the race today. Tap, also not in the race today, with 21 points. And 21 points tied with Super as well. Type R in the race today with 19 points. And that rounds out our top 15 standings. Now, there's probably about 20 or 21 drivers total, I think, on the points board there for the GT3 class so far. Again, very popular series. So, lots of guys always ready to step into the wings as a full-time driver if an opportunity comes. So, we do see some new faces on track here this week, which is beautiful. And they're having pretty good races today, so love to see it. But let's recap here. We're 2/3 of the way through our race here today, ladies and gentlemen, and right now we have Tron Colby leading 1.4 seconds ahead of SpongeBob, who's in that C7 Corvette. Boo Fu Shadara not too far behind him, just a couple seconds in that 911 RSR Porsche GT3 car. Then we got Doug in the BRZ, so the Subaru BRZ race car here in 4th place. We got Bar 27, and he's in that 97 Supra. We got Hair Razor here, also in the same car as well. Keytops again in that GTR, sitting in 7th place. So Keytops is 28.9 seconds behind the lead right now of Tron Colby. So we'll have to see if that's close enough for him to get lead back when they do make their pit stops. Monkey Mafia in the other Porsche 911 RSR here, sitting in P8. Now there's only 2 of each manufacturer allowed on the track at any given time. So that's why we're seeing only 2 Porsches or 2 Supras or 2 Corvettes. That's why we're not seeing any more than that, because it's league rules that there's only 2 of each manufacturer on the track. And of course there are some banned cars for this series. The Subaru WRX is one of those banned cars. The Jaguar is also one of those banned cars, and the Beetle is also one of the banned cars in this series this season. So there are some cars we don't see on track just due to the fact that they are just clearly stronger on BOP settings than the rest of the cars, and taken off the racetrack for this season just to keep it fair for all the drivers. So we do see the Mercedes AMG here in unseen throne, my bad. Astra coming into pit lane in his C7 Corvette, so there's the other Corvette on track here. We got Type R, he's the Toyota FT1, so different choice of cars here from Type R. We've got Anto as well, he's in the BMW Z4. And Lone Ghost in the BMW M6, and he's got the car in there. The crew's taking a look at it. He's been having a tough race, so having an issue with the car. He's got the crew, of course, taking a look at it to see if they can get him back out on track to finish the race here today. We got it's been a pretty good race so far, but back to our race lead is SpongeBob, as I guess Tron has now made his pit stop. Or he's made a mistake. I'm not sure what happened, but we have SpongeBob in the lead of the race now. So let's see how everything plays out. We gotta go see what happened here. Did Tron pit? It's really hard to say if he just made a mistake or if he pit. we'll wait to see. So we got Boo Fu Shadara now coming into pit lane, as well as Bar 27. Yeah, we have Trone coming in. So no, Trone just made a mistake. So I'm not sure what happened there to Trone, but he's coming into pit lane now. Hairraiser are also coming into pit lane. So all our drivers are starting to get that two-stop strategy out of the way. Interesting to see what Doug's going to do here. And again, SpongeBob now has the race lead as he's gotten around all those other drivers before the pit stop started. I can't talk still. And we got Doug here in P2. Now Doug is well, he's our current championship standings leader right now, so looking pretty good here in P2. Keytop's chasing him now. Keytop's is the guy who's trying to chase Doug for the standings overall lead. So Keytop's needs to get ahead of Doug. He's about 23 seconds behind currently. So we'll have to see what happens when those two drivers do make their final pit stop here. Boo Fu Shadara coming out into 4th place, so not losing a whole lot of time. Bart coming out in 5th. He's got a penalty, and he just nicked the wall there, so he's in a little bit of trouble here from Tron Kobe and behind, as he's going to have to serve that penalty right before the start-finish line there. And, of course, that's a straight-line run coming into T1, so that half-second penalty probably relates to about 3/4 of a second here at Tokyo. When you serve that, you can see Trone's on the outside. Your Bar just kind of holding his car in the middle of the racetrack there, and that forces Trone Kobe not to really have anywhere to make a move on him, so he's just got to sit in behind. And then we had Unseen there. No, that wasn't Unseen in behind making a mistake. I'm not sure who that was behind making a mistake there, but we do have SpongeBob in the race lead here, so looking good in that C7 Corvette. Let's see if he opts to go into pit lane here. Looks like he's setting up for it. Yep, he does go into pit lane here, so SpongeBob now jumping into pit lane. Is Doug going to follow? Yes, Doug does follow, so let's stick with Keytops here as he comes around. Let's see if he can jump into P1. Now remember, Key is on a one-stop strategy. The rest of the field's on a two-stop strategy here. So if he did it right, if he played his cards right, he should come out in the lead. He's coming around the corner where the guys are pit stopped right now. So this is where pit lane is. It goes into this underground parking garage here as we see on the left, and it comes out right here. And Keytops is going to take the race lead from SpongeBob and Doug. So the one-stop strategy proven to potentially be the strategy of the day here. So great job to Keytops. And I did call that in the broadcast earlier on. The one-stop strategy could be the winning strategy here today. So Keytops is looking pretty solid for a race win. But the big question for Keytops is he going to have the fuel at the end of the race to be able to... We have no race car sounds. My bad, you guys. We shut that off. We have race car sounds. Hey, hey! All right. So Keytops, again, in the race lead here. Great strategy from Keytops. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. There's probably what gets solid 8 minutes of no race audio there. So we got SpongeBob in second, and Boo Fu Shadara is starting to put the pressure on. So let's jump on board with Boo as he chases down SpongeBob here. And this is going to be a great battle between these two cars, because the Corvette clearly has straight line speed, but the Porsche has great handling. You can see Boo's trying to give him as much room as possible there. You can see the Corvette backed out of there, actually, and just allowed Boo Fu Shadara to get the job done there. So Boo does move up into P2. SpongeBob right there. Smart decision making by these two race car drivers here. So great job by these two battling into that mid-sector of the racetrack there. We got Doug in the BRZ here, and I mean, he's starting to lose a little bit of pace on the drivers up ahead here. So we'll have to see what happens here, if he can catch up, or if these guys can pull away from Doug here. Now, this is huge for Key. Key's 10 points behind Doug currently in the championship standings, and currently, well, 3 positions ahead of Doug. So potentially looking at a 6 to 8 point game here right now on Doug Burrow for that overall lead in the GT3 Championship after round 5 here today. So we'll have to see how everything plays out here with 14 minutes remaining. And battle here between Tron and Bar now as well. We knew this battle was going to be developing here soon, and Tron Kobe getting the job done, but is Bar going to come back with the cutback here? No, he tried. He just couldn't get the power down safely. Tron got the power down a little better and getting that Super down the road. So Super should be a little bit faster than the 97 Supra behind them, but it's hard to say. Both these cars are GT3 race cars, so balance of performance is on and the tuning is turned off on these cars. So I mean, really, it is anybody's game at the end of the day here. So, and Bar 27 is definitely looking feisty here as he's battling pretty good here with Tron as they're coming side by side at the start-finish line here, and it's going to be Tron is just going to edge him out coming across the line there. Doug's just kind of off in no man's land here. He's got 10 seconds on these guys here. The more they battle, the more time he's going to gain on them there. We see great side-by-side racing by Tron and Bar there around turn 1. Definitely not an easy thing to do here in Tokyo. So both these drivers showing off their skills here right now too as they're running down the racetrack here and having a good battle. This is a great battle right here for 5th and 6th place. So we're just going to stick with it here for a little bit longer as these guys are still battling. And clearly on a very, very similar pace too, because Bar has just not left the backside of that Toyota Supra at all this lap. He has been stuck to it like glue here, so looking good here. So it's kind of neat to see 2018 version Supra, 2019 version Supra versus a 1997 version Supra. Quite an interesting little battle of the Supras here. A little generation battle going on. Quite fun. But that brand new, the newer model Supra, definitely proven to be a difficult task to get around here. So let's keep going through our field here. We'll get back to this battle. We got Hairraiser in 7th trying to chase those two down. He's 4.4 seconds behind. We've got Ibra in 8th place. He's just coming through the tunnel here now himself. We've got Monkey Mafia in P9 having another good race here. Top 10 finish potentially here for Monkey again. Astro in 10th place, holding down that final top 10 spot in that C7. So he's looking good here as well. We've got Unseen Throne in P11 in that AMG chasing down that C7 Corvette. He's been looking good in that AMG. Got Type R in the Toyota FT1 in 12th place. We got Anto in 13th, and Lone Ghost still having the crew taking a look at that car here. So unfortunate for Lone Ghost, but the crew there and doing their job, and Keytops is winning so far in the race. He's got to hold this race lead for 11.5 more minutes. Now, to somebody in this position on this racetrack, 11 minutes seems like an eternity when you're leading the race on a Tokyo racetrack. So you can see Boo's starting to reel him in here too as well. So Keytops really has his work cut out for him here as Boo Fu Shadara is closing the gap up. So 1.8 seconds from Boo Fu Shadara to Keytops for P1 and P2, and then SpongeBob is only 1.7 seconds behind Boo Fu Shadara. You can see the guys starting to close up. Doug's starting to slowly chip away at that gap as well to SpongeBob here. So it's slowly but surely starting to get interesting here. We've got Tron, Kobe, and Bar still having a cracking battle back here. So let's stick with these two here for a minute, as these guys are really having a great little juicy battle for position here for about the last lap and a half, 2 laps now, and working together and kind of not working together all at the same time, I guess, but definitely having a great battle here. And it looks like Bar is just going to do some bump drafting here, so Bar may be utilizing Tron Kobe a little bit here to save some fuel and tires as well. Again, Bar is driving on controller, so controller drivers have one disadvantage when it comes to endurance racing, and that is tire wear. It is an absolute mythical art on a controller to control tire wear like somebody who's on a wheel and pedal set. So there are guys out there that can do it. I ain't taking it away from the controller drivers, but the majority of controller drivers struggle with tire wear during endurance racing. So Bar might be playing a little bit of strategy here and trying to use Tron Kobe to help with that a little bit. Hairraiser in P7 in the other 97 Supra. We got Ibra in the other BRZ. Monkey Mafia is in the other Porsche. We got Unseen now getting around Astro for P10 there. So AMG moving itself up into P10, the only Mercedes on track. And oh, we're just talking about how spicy that Corvette can be, and we just see Astro come around a little early on the throttle, got loose in the rear end, and really having a hard hit in that wall there. You can see some smoke coming out of the back end of that Corvette. So really unfortunate there for Astro, but still sitting in P11 and back on the road again. We got Type R in P12. We've got Anto in 13th. And again, just BMW not having the best of days here today, just having some form of mechanical failure. There's a cruise kind of starting to look like they're not sure what's going on with that car. Battle for position, battle for the lead. Boo Fu Shadara on Keytops, and Boo Fu Shadara looking like he's got the job done in the tunnel, and he does. So P1 going to Boo Fu Shadara. SpongeBob now in the middle of this battle here as well. And two-stop strategy with the fresher tires is starting to prove to be the winning strategy here. So it's not over yet. It's not over till it's over, ladies and gentlemen. But Keytops definitely has his work cut out for him. So two drivers in front of him have better rubber on their cars. So it is going to be very tough for him, I think, to get that lead back now from these guys. But he's a fast race car driver. We'll have to see what he can get this GTR to do here moving forward. So our race leader dropping all the way back down into P3 here, and still on the podium, but he's still got 8 minutes. He's got to fight here. 8 minutes he's got to fight. So Doug in P4, and good for Doug, because now Trone's only one position ahead as opposed to 3 positions ahead. So that does give potential for Doug not to lose as many points if Doug can't get around the key here before the end of the race. We got Trone Kobe in 5th place, looking to gain some really good points. But Bar 27 looking to try and take that P5 away from him before the end of the race here, as he has not left the backside of that Toyota Supra at all. Hairraiser is starting to drip away the time on the drivers up in front here, but whether or not he has enough time left in the race to make something happen, we'll have to find out. Ibra is kind of in no man's land. He's all on his own there in 8th place right now. Monkey Mafia much of the same in 9th. Unseen Throne has gained quite a bit of a gap on Astro. You see Astro coming into pit lane here. Type R is in P12, Anto in P13, and Lone Ghost still got that car in there, looking like they're going to have to pull that thing behind the wall, unfortunately, there today. But good job by Lone Ghost. So Boo Fu Shadara off the road here in P1, and SpongeBob very close behind in P2, and Keytop's trying to keep up with these guys, but he's just losing the time on these guys here at the moment. So he was at half a second, now he's at almost 2 seconds. So you can see the newer tires have definitely done their job. So I guess the two-stop strategy proving to be the right strategy here today so far. But Key will still holding podium position here, but you can see Doug starting to chip away a little bit. He shed about 2.5, 3/10 of a second off of the 3rd place driver Keytops, and we got Troll and Kobe and Bar battling for position, and now we got a back marker in the equation. I keep Bar the inside line on Troll, but again, Bar not able to get the power down fully on the exit there, and Troll was. So Troll holding position on Bar 27 once again for P5. Great battle these two are really having back here for P5 and P6 here. Probably for about the last 8 minutes of this race so far. Hairraiser in P7. He's trying. He's absolutely trying, but he's just not shaving enough time down on the guys in front. I think he's going to run out of time. He might be looking at a P7 as his best shot, unless one of the drivers in front has an error or makes a mistake. P7 may be the best shot he's got today. Ibra again, no man's land, P8. Same thing with Monkey Mafia in P9. Same thing with Unseen Throne in P10. Astro much of the same. He's just on his own. All the drivers from 7th on back, basically, with the exception of Harry, who's trying to close in on Bar 27 and Throne for that battle, are quite spread out. So to our race leader here as we're coming up on Toyota FT1. I think a little bit of contact was made there by Boo Fu Shadara on the Toyota there, as 1 and 2 having a literally nose-to-tail battle here for first place here before the end of this race. So fantastic stuff here by our drivers. We got 5 minutes remaining, so we're going to be about 3, maybe 4 more times around the racetrack here. And boy, oh boy, Boo's got his work cut out for him, as SpongeBob is giving him all the business here. Side by side, coming up the straight line here, but Boo has the inside track around the hairpin here, so Boo should hold P1. But we do know the Corvette is pretty good in the straight line here. So, oh, and Boo get a little bit sideways. Oh, and he makes contact, losing control of his car. He makes a little bit of contact on P2 driver SpongeBob, and that was enough to spin him out there. So, really unfortunate there for SpongeBob, as Boo Fu Shadara just getting under the power, just got wiggling that Porsche, and it just tapped him. And it spun that Corvette around, so Boo Fu Shadara now 4 seconds up the road all alone in P1 there. Keytops is going to grandfather up into P2 there due to that incident on track, and that's going to give Doug P3. So SpongeBob falling all the way back to P4 out of that, but still enough time left in the race to potentially get some of these positions back. Let's see what he's got. Troll and Kobe in P5, and Troll's lost Bar a little bit here. So Bar made a minor mistake or two somewhere and just lost enough time to lose that slipstream from Troll. So Troll has a little bit of a cushion now for P5 there, as Bar 27 making a mistake. But what that did was that actually allowed Hairraiser to start to gain on Bar 27 as well. So P7 started to come back into the equation here, but you can see that he's also got to get around Anto with that Z4 as well here before he can put any pressure on Bar 27. And you can see Hairraiser getting around him there right now, just waiting for that straight line. We'll see if, yeah, Anto did back out coming into the corner there. That's good, beautiful stuff. And you see that BMW Z4 is quite a quick car in a straight line, so Hairraiser actually having a hard time staying ahead of him in the straight runs here, so Hairraiser just needs to get a little more space on the back marker. They're coming through the corners here, and then he won't be gaining on him in the straight lines quickly here. But that BMW Z4 quite quick in a straight line, ladies and gentlemen, so as we're seeing there. So let's get back up to the race lead here. We have Boo Fu Shadara, he's 4.9 seconds ahead there. And Keytops in second place, but again, Keytops is on a different strategy than the rest of the drivers chasing. So what this has done is really allowed Doug to close up the gap on Keytops here. So can Doug get position on Keytops here? Right now, Doug's in a great spot. He's definitely going to be, if the race finishes right now the way it sits, Doug's obviously going to be still leading the standings going into round 6 in 2 weeks, but whether or not he's ahead or behind Keytops is kind of the difference here right now. Keytops may be able to pick a couple extra points up on Doug here and not lose any ground after this race, or he could lose a couple more points in the standings if he falls behind Doug here. So a little bit interesting to see how this is going to unfold. SpongeBob is he's coming. He is coming. So we got just under 2 minutes remaining. These drivers are doing these things in the minute 56. So this is final lap. This is final lap for all these drivers, but potentially Boo might get an extra lap here. So we see Doug making the attempt on Key here, but again that GTR is just a little bit faster in a straight line than that BRZ. So Doug having a hard time getting around the GTR on the straight here. So he's gonna have to. He's going to have to really make the move, I think, in these technical sectors here, and Keytops is just not giving him a line through. Keytops is just holding every apex and making sure that there isn't an opportunity on the inside coming around the corner to get the job done here. Oh, and SpongeBob, oh no, he spins again! Oh no, SpongeBob was right there. He was catching up to the pack, and he lost a little bit of, lost the back end on that Corvette, clipped the wall, and the wall spun him around. So definitely having a little bit of issue with some worn out tires after a couple spins on that C7 Corvette. Still managing to hold 4th place though, but we can't leave this battle for P2 here. We got a little bit of contact on the wall there from Doug in that BRZ, and he is battling. He wants that position. The race is coming near to an end. You can see Keytops is defending here. Oh, and Keytops gave Doug the room for the inside. Really surprised to see that. I'm not sure what the thought process was there, but that might be said and done here for Doug now. As we're only coming, we got about 5 corners left before the end of this race here. So with that being said, we got Boo coming around those final corners right now. So let's get on with our race leader here, just in case this is his final lap here as well. And he's just coming around right now. So what do we got for time left on the clock? Ooh, it is going to be close. No, Boo's going to get around. So Boo Fu Shadara is going to get a victory lap here. And this will be the final lap for the rest of the field. So Keytops and Doug battling, coming through the final corners. Here we go, Chad. What's going to happen here? No, that's it. Doug in P2, Key in P3, SpongeBob in P4, Tron in P5. We got Bar coming across P6, Hairraiser right on his tail in P7. We got Ibra, he's going to come around in P8. So you see he's just coming around these final couple corners here. See Monkey Mafia just behind there as well. So Monkey Mafia was catching up there. So Ibram P8, Monkey Mafia with another top 10 here. P9 finish. We got Unseen throwing in his first race of the season. Going to come in with a P10 here, it looks like. Type R coming across in P12, so I'm assuming that Anto did come across in P13. Not sure where our race leader is here, but we've got Unseen Throne coming around right now. Where's our boy Astro? He will maybe be the next one? Yeah, okay. So they did manage to get that BMW out on track for the final couple laps of the race. So great job by the BMW mechanics there. So Team Lone Ghost coming through there, getting that car back on track. And we got Astro here just coming around with Lone Ghost just in front here. So both these drivers going to finish pretty much side by side here. Great job by the two drivers. So Lone Ghost will finish in 14th, and of course we are going to see Astro finish in 13th. And great job here by the drivers. So let's get to our race leader here, who's on his victory lap, essentially, ladies and gentlemen. He's just coming across right now. So congratulations to Boo Fu Shadara with the race win here in round 5. Doug Burrow taking P2, and Keytops rounding out our podium here today for a P3 finish. So really great job to all the drivers here. All right, that was a pretty interesting race, if I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen. It was there was a lot of position swapping. There was a lot of drivers making small mistakes that turned into big mistakes. Again, Tokyo providing tough racing just due to the fact that this is a city circuit, so it's built within the city of Japan, the streets of Tokyo, and it has just surrounded by walls everywhere. And it makes for difficult racing. You make one mistake, or you go through a corner a little too quick and get a little bit wide. Really isn't a runoff. There's nowhere to go. There's just a whole lot of wall there, and you can see by the damage on all the race cars throughout the race that there wasn't a single driver that didn't get around this racetrack without making contact with another driver or wall somewhere. So with that being said, we're just going to flip you over our screens here for momentarily, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to hit the driver interviews up. So we'll be right back in about a minute's time, folks. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can see here, we are in the chat with the guys here. Great job by all the drivers. Tokyo, super tough racetrack. Again, built within the city limits of Tokyo, Japan, and it's just surrounded by walls. So when you make a bit of a mistake going into a corner, you don't have a runoff like you see on a typical normal racetrack. You have walls to hit. So a really tough day for all the drivers. Now, like I said, not one driver didn't get through unscathed today. The bodywork guys are going to be furious, and the paint booth is going to be busy moving into the next round. Of course, 2 weeks from today for the next GT3 race. So great job to all the drivers. I want to start off by saying it was a tough race out there. You guys did a fantastic job out there, and even for the ones that were having a bit of a rough day, great job sticking with it. We appreciate it. But we are going to move to our third place finisher here, who was Keytops. Now, Keytops was on quite a bit of a different strategy than the rest of the field. He decided to opt to go with a one-stop strategy. Now, I felt at the beginning of the broadcast, before I even knew what the strategies were, that a one-stop strategy could be the key to winning here today. I was wrong, but it still got him on the podium. So, congratulations, man, to start off with, Key. Another good, solid race finish here for you in the GT3 Championship. And a little bit heartbreaking for you potentially there, as you knew you were ahead of Doug, and you just the guys just had some fresher rubber underneath of them and just were able to get around you there. So talk us through your race today.
Well, honestly, for me, it wasn't too busy of a race. I was pretty much on my own because as soon as the race started, I put it in fuel map 2 or whatever, and I pretty much ran it the whole way like that, but I wasn't doing it the proper way. I wasn't short shifting on it, and I should have been. I figured that out in my second stint, but yeah, right at the end, it was getting a little close. I was so thinking my strategy was absolute crap. So once I got in first, all the boys were pitting. I was like, okay, well, maybe it wasn't too bad. And anyway, once I kind of let a couple of the guys go by because I wasn't going to be able to compete because I didn't have enough fuel to keep it on 1. Anyway, so then once Doug was catching up, I tried throwing it into 1, and I wasn't going to make it. So right at the end there, we got really close, and I was just behind him coming onto the finish line, and I threw it into 1. I ran out of fuel just before the line, so I wouldn't have gotten him anyway. But anyway, we'll take third place. So. Yeah. No. It was a good race. It was definitely more of who did the right strategy, I found, because the fuel was not the way I would have hoped it was going to be. I was hoping it would at least get me halfway without having to do anything because I'm used to it, but other than that, it was pretty well whoever had the best strategy here was going to win this one.
Absolutely, and again, just massive congratulations. Great race by yourself as always, and any shoutouts?
I'd like to thank the boys. They did a great job, and for you, and Goodyear, baby.
Hey, huge shout out to Goodyear there today. The tire guys over on the racetrack here in Tokyo today. Great job by, of course, our tire engineers to allow these race cars to do the things they do around these racetracks week in and week out. So, huge shout out there from Keith. Appreciate you, my guy.
Thank you.
All right, second place driver, ladies and gentlemen, Doug. Not on the top of the podium today, but definitely doing a great job in securing the overall lead in the GT3 Championship standings moving into the next round. So you're coming into round 5, you're 10 points ahead in the standings. What's going through your mind before you start a race like this?
The extra weight on my calf was going through my mind. I was struggling with the pace. But it's just like I was coming into this round, it was damage limitation, just hoping not to fall too far back. And that was it. You know, I got extremely lucky in this race with people falling off and things happening around me, and I was able to take advantage. I was surprised actually to be holding the lead for the first third of the race. I was really shocked by that. But then I'm having to use a lot of fuel now to keep up in this. I am having to take the revs to the very limit. Off a short shift at all, I'm 2 seconds back. So, you know, it was a struggle, but I put a lot of practice in this week with the boys, and that's credit to them because they're always setting up practice lobbies. I've been messing around doing liveries and driving all sorts of cars, but they put in a lot of practice lobbies, so we got some practice in and it paid off.
Absolutely, and I know that, of course, as Gran Turismo is updating and you know making BOP changes and trying to get everything on the straight and narrow between all the car classes. The BRZ's been taking a bit of a hit, so I know that's been bothering you, and you've been definitely worried about it coming into these races. That it just continues to lose horsepower and gain weight, as you said. So it just continues to get a little bit slower and slower. But yeah, obviously you've got a great handle on the car. You're driving very well, and you're still very competitive with it. So hopefully they quit messing with that car too much moving forward here, unless they're going to help it out a little bit, because there's a lot of championship left. Where we got 10 rounds left or something like that still. So
Something like that, yeah.
Hopefully that BRZ's got everything you need to continue keeping you up on the top of the championships. You know, it was a tough race out there. We've seen a lot of Rubbins racing, which is expected on a track like Tokyo. We've seen a lot of guys, you know, just clipping walls, and you know, those cost tenths of seconds every time you do that. So how do you feel you managed in that sense on damage control around the racetrack today?
I thought I did alright. I stayed fairly consistent with my times. I had a couple of little dodgy moments where I've outbraked myself slightly, but I was out in the open when that happened. But I got away with just a few little wall scuffs. I had one shortcut penalty, which I was expecting to get. The tail got a bit loose coming into the corner, and I upshifted to control it, but obviously that straightened the car out into the shortcut through what I like to call Barry Docks, the dock section. And that cost me. But no, it was a battle. I tried to stay clean, tried to stay off the walls, tried not to watch the time gap too much down the straights, because the last few laps, the last like 5 laps, every time I got into a straight I was watching the time gap, and I saw it, as we come out the corner, I saw it come down a little bit because I'm ragging it through the corners, and then within like 100 yards the time gap was extending again. So I was set for like 4th in my head, 4th or maybe 5th, and things happened in front of me, and yeah, you know, just keep it going, keep pushing is my advice to everyone. Just keep going.
Absolutely.
You never know what's going to happen in front of you.
Yeah, and that's just it, especially in endurance racing, and especially on a track like Tokyo. All it takes is a little bit of tire wear to come into effect, and unfortunately we've seen it with
SpongeBob.
Thank you, SpongeBob. You knew what I was going
You're
there.
welcome.
You knew where I was going.
Yep.
With him and Boo were battling for the lead there, coming out of the hairpin, and a nice clean battle coming there, and Boo got on the throttle and just got a little bit sideways with the car, and he literally just tapped the front end of that Corvette, and then he got, I'm not sure if the tap made him over throttle, and he spun himself out in the corners. So really unfortunate for SpongeBob, and then right at the end of the race he was catching you guys again to battle for those podiums, and then of course just clipped the wall, spinning the car out again on him. So you know, a special shout out to SpongeBob. He did really well, still taking 4th place in the race after a little bit of a crazy finish for him, but great job for him as well. But
yeah, that bet's really fast in a straight line, so he did quite well too.
That definitely changed for
Deal
you
with
in
it
your
coming out
favor.
from the corners.
Those fortunes there, that incident for SpongeBob is obviously that got you onto the podium, and then you just reeled key tops in from there. Obviously it was fresher tires on the car, which I'm sure probably helped a little bit. And
I wouldn't have got anywhere near him without the fresh tyres, yeah.
And managed to keep him behind from there. So, strong finish for you again, Doug. You're looking good week in and week out, no matter what it is that these guys seem to put you in. You seem to be one of the guys that needs to be, that's the guy to chase for this championship at the end of the season. So keep doing what you're doing out there, and try to lock yourself in another title.
I'm going to try.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
It's not going to happen, but I'm going to try.
Well,
I'm going to keep pushing.
You're going to be looking at about a 10 or 12 point advantage going into next week now, so you got a little bit of a cushion there at least. So lots of time, and just keep your practice up, and we'll see where you end up at the end of the season.
Yep, definitely.
And shoutouts.
Obviously to yourself for being here commentating, thank you very much. To all the boys within the organisation of the race, all the team at GTRC, to Bo and Key, you know, me and Key had it was a really close one at the end. I was fingers crossed I wasn't going to make another lap, because I don't think I'd have made it on fuel. So no, great race there, you know, just to everyone, thank you very much. It's fun so far.
Absolutely, absolutely. And seeing some new drivers on track today, and they had pretty decent races themselves. We'd love to see that as well. So you know, great job to yourself and the staff there at GTRC to continue getting these events to be just bigger and faster and stronger.
Thank you.
All right, so let's move to, well, our champion of the day, Mr. Boo Fu Shadara. We're not unfamiliar to talking to this man as last season's champion from the GT4 series, and then of course they moved into GT3 Championship Series for this season. And you've missed a couple of the races, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but still sitting pretty solid in the standings, and with the race win today. So how do you feel about the win back here at Tokyo to start with?
Well, thanks very much. Yeah, it's been a couple of races. I missed one race because of I was abroad, and then Laguna Seca, I froze from being, I don't know, however far ahead in the lead it was at the time. So I was going, but good for the win. It's not. It was a messy race. I got taken out into the dock section, so end up second to last on lap 2. So it was about from there, and then when I managed to catch up to the guys in front, it was a bit of a messy situation with Hare. So I want to say a massive apology to Hare. A bit of lag, a bit of contact between 3 cars. Just wasn't great, so apologies to him. But good race. Manic with SpongeBob. He put up a great battle going into the back straight, the long straight through the tunnel. That was insane. I say insane. Going into it, we had Simon in front of us, and he just braked that much earlier than I was expecting. So I had to take avoiding action around him to get through, and that allowed Sponge to close up to me down the straight. And like I said to Doug, we had a bit of contact, so apologies to him as well. So it wasn't deliberate. I was trying to get the best ride out. Yeah. It's upsetting. I never. It's. Yeah. It's very edgy. Yeah, hopefully, and some of the other guys as well. Like, it wasn't just him. Oh, it's been amazing. I love the car. The only thing it's an odd car to drive in that with a lot of the other cars, as soon as you power on, you can sort of glide out of the corner. As soon as you power on with the Porsche on corner exit, if you're not pointing in the right direction, you're just understeering off, either off the track or into the wall. So it's definitely a balancing act on the throttle. The slow speed stuff, so like the hairpin, if you're not got any sort of partial throttle application, then the car just wants to oversteer and spin you around, which is insane. It's so weird and so odd a characteristic, and hopefully it's a thing in the game and that gets ironed out. But it's good. I love it. It's good launch. Its strength is definitely low speed corner exit. As soon as you've got it turned, you can point square and just basically mash the throttle and watch it pull away. But honestly, love it. It's once you get used to it, rapid, really quick.
Absolutely. And you showing that today, obviously coming in with the race win, and not an easy win today either. Very hard fought battle for Boo Fu Shadara here today. As you said, he had come all the way from the back of the pack to get a chance to have a fight for the front, and what a fight it was to get that lead, and then of course to maintain the lead from there. So not an easy race for our race winner here today, Boo Fu Shadara. So huge congratulations to you. Definitely some battling going on, probably some sweating, and coming out on top here today. So we love to see it. And shout out to my guy.
Michelin. I was just shouting out tyre manufacturers. Michelin make the best tyres by far. So down the Goodyear, up the Michelin. Any of the fans, I want to say sorry to Hare again. I hate making contact with anybody, and that was just really, really messy. So apologies to him, and well done to Doug and Key. I mean, Key with the one stop. I knew what he was doing as soon as I saw him go past when we were all pitting for the first time. Going, that's brave, and it might actually work out, especially when I came out of the pits. I saw him like 40 seconds down the road, going, that's mad.
It
almost how we're going to make that up.
It
almost worked.
But I mean, that's twice now this season we've seen in the GT3 Championship now where we've seen drivers take bold strategies and make it work for a podium finish. We've seen a driver last race do that as well.
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
We had a driver doing no stop. Reserve driver came in and no stop the race, finishing second place, and then today Keytop's coming in with that one stop strategy, the only driver on the strategy as well, managing to hold out that P3 position there. So. We love to see different strategies on the racetrack. We love to see things get changed up, and we always love to see the end result, because now the next time a championship race comes to this racetrack, it's going to have all the drivers thinking, which is the best strategy. So always adds a little bit more intrigue as, of course, drivers become more familiar with each other season in and season out, and it always makes for better battling, because these drivers learn, and that's what they spend a lot of time doing on the racetrack against each other too as well, ladies and gentlemen, as they learn from each other. When they're following behind a driver, they're learning where their weaknesses and their strengths are on the racetrack, and then they try to pounce on that weakness. It's always a learning game from sim racing standpoint, and when you learn from your opponents, it just makes for better racing season in and season out, and we're seeing that as we progress with our broadcasting career with these GTRC racers. These guys are every season getting closer and closer in pace, and it's just making for more and more fantastic racing. So congratulations to you guys for what you're doing here. You're really building a great racing community, and it's got a great vibe around here. So again, just huge shout out to GTRC guys and everything they're doing behind the scenes, because it's beautiful. We love to broadcast it, we love to watch it. So thank you to you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Cheers for the win, man. Congratulations, and can't wait to see what you got in 2 weeks in the next GT3 race.
Hopefully more of the same.
Hopefully more of the same from our winner. He wants a two-peat, folks. He wants a two-peat. You heard it here first. All right. Well, congratulations, gentlemen, and of course, speak freely. Speak freely now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there we have it, our podium interviews. Lackluster questions today by the commentator. I was a little lacking today, but great answers by our drivers as always. These guys always have great answers for us when we ask the questions, and it was really a good race. And you can see that we're sitting on board here with our man, right on board with the winner here, Boo Fu Shadara. So really great job by all the drivers on track here today. I mean, tough racetrack. It's always a tough race at Tokyo. You know you're going to see guys hitting the walls. You know you're going to see drivers making contact with drivers. You see Boo really apologizing to a couple of drivers. It was a really tough race for every driver, no matter what the skill level or the pace level was. You've seen all the drivers have a struggle or something of their own issues at some point on the racetrack. There wasn't a car that came unscathed on this racetrack here tonight in Tokyo. And moving forward into round 7, we are heading to... Just give me a moment to pull up my files. I work for a lot of leagues. I have a hard time keeping this all straight, so it just helps for me to double check to make sure I'm giving the correct information, of course, to all you amazing fans and viewers, because that's what counts. So next week is the Sylvia Tours Touring Car Championship. I believe it's round 5 of 6 there. And so next week we're going to be... Oh, it's the finale this coming week, actually, ladies and gentlemen. So, our GT Sylvia Championship will be ending at the Daytona Road Course next week, coming on Saturday. So, that's going to be fun. That'll be a really fun race. It's a big racetrack for those small GT4 cars. It's all going to come down to who's better in the infield for that race next week. But our next GT3 race is going to be heading over to Monza. Not the Monza. Deep Forest. And it's going to be a 90-minute race. So in 2 weeks, we're heading to Deep Forest. So we're heading over to the Americas. Deep Forest Raceway, an iconic racetrack in Gran Turismo history. It's been around in almost every version of the game. We're absolutely tickled pink to see it back in GT7. And we're going to be heading there for a 90-minute endurance race in 2 weeks. So on August 20th at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock UK Standard Time, we will be live with the GTRC GT3 Championship, and that will be round 6 at Deep Forest for 90 minutes. So boys better get their practice in for that one, but they've got 2 weeks to get all the training, get all the testing, get everything done they need to done with these cars. But some of these drivers are also running the GT4 Sylvia series as well, which will be next week, and again, that is the finale. So some interesting racing coming from these guys. And again, like I said, thank you to everybody. If you're interested in knowing more about the GTRC, their community, and what they have to offer as far as Racing League goes, all you have to do is let us know. Drop us a comment below in the chats. You can contact us through the GT45 Gaming community as well via our messenger apps, our WhatsApp, our Instagram, our Discord server. If you have me on PlayStation, you can contact me that way as well, or any of the guys here, Boo Fu Shadara, Doug Burrow, Bar27, Hair Razor, administration staff over there at the GTRC community. They're the guys behind the scenes that put all these events together. You contact any one of them, they can help you out as well. They don't care what your skill level is, ladies and gentlemen. You can be brand new to racing, or you can be the fastest race car driver in the world in your own mind, and they'll put you on track and they'll let you see it. They'll let you come out and prove what you got. They have a very good system in place for their leagues, and I love what they're doing over there at GTRC. If we didn't, we wouldn't be working with them. So huge shout out to the GTRC community, the drivers, again, all the officials, the stewarding staff, everybody that does everything behind the scenes, the guys that make these beautiful standings right here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, come on. You know, GG's for the standings. These guys up the game on their standings. They look absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, folks. And so, you know, it's things like this that that really make this fun for you, for me, and for the drivers. So a lot of hard work, a lot of volunteer time goes into all these esports leagues, whether it be on Gran Turismo, whether it be over on ACC, iRacing platform, whether it be over on Forza, whatever the sim platform it is. I know I haven't even covered all of them. I'm sorry, everybody. We have Red Factor and all these other. I know. We have a ton of them out there. But, you know, for the most part, when it comes to streaming, these are what we see. These are what the majority of the community is on. So we just keep those as our talking platform, so to speak. But it's becoming popular, and it takes a lot of volunteer work to make stuff like this happen. You know, these aren't paid positions 99.9% of the time for anybody involved, including myself. We do this on our own time because we just enjoy doing what we're doing. We try to give as much back to the community as we get from the community, and that's why we do it. So with that being said, we love your support. Thank you for viewing today. If you haven't liked and shared the broadcast, no matter where it is that you're viewing it from, if you could do so before you leave, that would be absolutely wonderful. It's a couple of free things that we can do to help all our pages grow, help the league grow. And if you enjoy the content and you want to see more races from the GTRC, hit those follow and subscribe buttons on the YouTube and Facebook channels. Be a part of the family. Turn on those live notifications. You'll never ever miss another live action moment, and we appreciate you so much. I am your host for today, GT45 Gaming. I would love to thank all of you for tuning in. Stay winning, and we love you so much, and we'll see you next week. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Ciao for now.